born in Andhra Pradesh. And then she completed her post-graduation in food and nutrition. She would have been a postgraduate and a PhD like many of us, working perhaps in one of the apex institutes in India, like some of you. However, this brilliant academic, technocrat, and entrepreneur met somebody which changed the direction of her life. She met Bharat Ratna Nanaji Deshmukh, and he perhaps saw some promise in her, and she made a very, very powerful statement to her. She said, "Girls like you should not work for money, but they should serve the society." These powerful statements were taken by her by heart, soul, and mind. Not many of us take the serious words of great personality like Nanaji Deshmukh, but she took it to herself and assimilated her. And that gave a direction to her life, a direction that makes her stand distinct from all of us. A change that gradually made her unique daughter of our great Bharat. She decided to join Deen Dayal Research Institute in Chitrakoot in the field of social sciences. And this change in her and this path that she chose turned into a boon for thousands of underprivileged in our country, which includes villagers, women, tribals, and less privileged. It turned into a boon for them. And she worked for social reconstruction in a real sense. And social reconstruction, we read in our theories, but she showed it practically. She made 500 villages self-reliant. The word that our Pradhan Mantri ji is using today, Atmanirbhar Bharat, she conceived long back and made several villages Atmanirbhar. She motivated villagers, especially women, and taught them the optimal utilization of local resources, empowered women and tribal population. Motivating women and motivating the underprivileged is a Herculean task, and that needs a lot of perseverance. We know that because we from University of Hyderabad tried to run a literacy campaign in the villages around Hyderabad, and it really taught us our life's lessons, how to reach out to people. But she did it and turned the lives of thousands of people across India. And there is no area of development that was untouched by her. I'm surprised. Name any area and she has touched upon that in her endeavor towards social reconstruction. Agriculture, technology, public relation, training, education, health, hygiene, infrastructure, and ma'am, I must have left quite a few. It is easy to tell what are the areas she has not touched yet than naming and enlisting everything. I won't be able to do justice to that. Her participation in national and international seminars definitely helped the world to learn from her. And in recognition of her services, she received a number of awards. I would just name a couple of them, otherwise I'll be taking a lot of her time. Seva Ratna Award, Veerangan Award, which is given to the women. And very recently, she got award in recognition of her work in agriculture and cottage industries. And I'm sure many more awards are awaiting her. and we would like to see you, the recipient of many more awards. And she's invited to speak today on a topic, entrepreneurship in New India after Corona. Who can be more suitable for a topic like this? An educationist, a social worker, a reformist, an agriculturist, technologist, and of course an entrepreneur. Above all, a real patriot who has given her best services to Mother India with spirit, zeal, and dedication. Let us now invite Dr. Nandita Pathak to enlighten us with her knowledge, experience, spirit, and motivation that is very vibrant, and I am sure it will be contagious. Madam, we invite you.
Thank you, Meenaji. Thank you. I am nothing, ma'am. I'm just a student. I always want to learn a lot of things from you people, ma'am. When I was a student, I'm always afraid about the professors, lecturers, and my teachers, because that time I spent my lot of time in co-curricular activities like NCC, NSS, and all sports and everything. So I pay my respects to all respectful teachers, academicians, IITians, and all you people, ma'am. I would like to welcome you all in this webinar. And whatever you talked about my introduction, it's all the blessings of Honorable Nanaji Deshmukhji. Just I got some knowledge from him. Doing work is very easy, but talking about our work and giving lectures, it's too tough job for me. But I'll try to explain some few things what I have experienced during this journey. So today I'm going to talk about entrepreneurship. We know the person who takes risk and create a change, we call that person an entrepreneur. But during this Corona lockdown time, we are seeing the laborers, they are traveling, they are moving thousands and thousands of kilometers, they are walking. Just they want to reach their homes, and they are saying, we want to die in our houses, not in these towns. These people are also taking risk, and the entrepreneurs are also taking risk. But the difference is, entrepreneurs, they are not working for their survival. But these laborers, these kind people, they are living for only their survival. So this is the difference. Laborers are also doing using their energy. They are also hardworking. But the entrepreneurs, they are something different from these laborers. So we should respect entrepreneurs because they don't want to accumulate money. They don't want to store more and more things in their houses. They don't want to build big houses and big factories, but they want to bring some solutions of our country's problems. That's why it's very interesting subject. Towards Better India is doing this thing, and we are going to discuss about entrepreneurship. Lockdown, during this lockdown period, we know that a lot of people like us, because we are academicians, we know the things, we are having the reasoning capacity, we are having some money. That's why we are enjoying this lockdown period in different modes by using our Facebooks, by using this web seminars and all these things. We are engaged. But what is the condition of entrepreneurs? Really, they are in stress. They are in strain. I have talked about a lot of entrepreneurs during this time. You know, just I want to share one experiences of photographers. Photography is a big profession. Entrepreneurs are doing big entrepreneurship in photography. But you know, the persons, the helpers, the supporting staff with these photographers, they are not comes under laborers, they are not a big industrialist, they are not any occupationist, but they are just supporting to the photography people. What about them? You know, those people are suffering in starvation. They don't have money. They are suffering. They are entrepreneurs. They are having their skills. They want to do something for the society. They want to make big pictures. They want to make big frames of pictures and everything. But nowadays, they are suffering because they don't have work. So this type of condition we are facing nowadays in India. But our government, central government and state governments, they are helping the people by providing ration samagri and all these things. But this is not the expectation of an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur always needs some respect. Then only he can do some innovations and everything. For entrepreneurship, we know that without any raw materials, one entrepreneur cannot do anything. So the base of entrepreneurship is the natural resources and human resources as well as the need of the society. The first thing the entrepreneur need or not. If it is not needed, he will not do any experiment on that product. But if there is any necessity, he definitely do some innovative experiments and he just give a problem, solution to that problem. So this is entrepreneurship. Without raw materials, without need, an entrepreneur cannot do anything. For this, we all are academicians. We all are highly educated people. So we can do a lot of things for the society. Like Madam is saying, Madam's staff go to the villages and they talk to the villagers and she know what is the condition of those villages. And one more thing, UN declared Sustainable Development Goals, 17 goals by 2030. So this is the most challenging job to the entrepreneurs, how we can get those sustainable development goals by 2030. So this is the main role of entrepreneurs. If they don't get any good laboratories, research facilities, so what they can do? That's why it's my humble request that we all are academicians. We know that in our area, which type of raw materials are available. Every area is having their own natural resources. Natural resources means the resources which we can get from forest, agriculture, from cattle, and from minerals. So if we know we are having this type of raw materials, natural resources, so by that we can produce our best products and we can sell these products to outside. Then only our Honorable Prime Minister's vision, Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliant India, we can achieve. Before that, I want to say that Honorable Nanaji Deshmukh ji, Bharat Ratna Honorable Nanaji Deshmukh ji, he developed a model, Chitrakoot model, which is a self-reliant model. He selected 500 villages. In that, lot of things he developed, a lot of models he developed in that area. For that, he selected entrepreneurs, not coolies. He selected educated entrepreneurs, energetic entrepreneurs, passionate entrepreneurs, and self-disciplined entrepreneurs, risk-taking entrepreneurs, creative thinking entrepreneurs, and persistence entrepreneurs. That's why he created self-reliance model within a time. For that, just I request you people that we can also make our society self-reliant. We can be the supporters of Honorable Prime Minister's Atmanirbhar Bharat. And then the President of India, APJ Abdul Kalam ji, also explained about Vision 2020. In that he said Pura model. So physical connectivity, electronic connectivity, knowledge connectivity, for all these things, entrepreneurship is most important. But for that, entrepreneurs sometimes, like this lockdown period, sometimes they go in, they feel some stress, strain, because not getting sufficient energy, sufficient support, sufficient money backup, sufficient resources. So they just left all those experiments and they also become coolie and they want to earn money just to run their family needs, to meet their family needs. So being an academician, being an IITian, being a good citizen, we have to support those entrepreneurs. Like in Chirala, lot of people, they just stopped, they just removed their kargas and all. They are not making, they are not producing saris. So these type of problems we have to identify and we have to check those problems. We have to give some solutions to them. Otherwise, our education will be waste. That's why this should be bottom to top approach, not the top to bottom approach. Because our Pradhan Mantri ji is saying that Atmanirbhar Bharat, we need Atmanirbhar Bharat, we should become self-reliant, we should become Atmanirbhar. But how? And Finance Ministry also announced a lot of money for these MSEMs, etc. But how? Because the village people, they don't know how to make up projects, how to go to banks, how to get financial support. So it's my humble request. We want to see our India more and more self-reliant and prosperous. We should help them. We can't help lakhs of people, but if we select a small area like agroclimatic zones area, we know India is divided into agroclimatic zones. So we can take those zones and we can select the persons who are interested to do some activities like these production activities, research activities, marketing activities. So we can help them by making self-sufficient, by giving support, making project proposals, financial help, and in the marketing also. Because online, everything is, after Corona, the main problem will be the social distancing and physical distancing. So that time, the people cannot go outside in a groups. They can't do their exhibitions. They can't exhibit their products in the big exhibitions. So what will be the result of those entrepreneurs? That's why online marketing process. We can develop a very beautiful online marketing, rural products, urban products, home products like that. Otherwise, these entrepreneurs, we are seeing they go for suicides like students. If they get failed, they are going for suicides. This will not good for India, because we always think about Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha. Entrepreneur should get some respect. That's why our academicians, we all are academicians. We can help those entrepreneurs in these matters. Online marketing, and one more thing, technical support, research work support, and laboratory support. And wherever they need some help, we should help them. Then only our education, our professors will get happy. Otherwise, they said that these students are not good, because my teachers always says that, because I just write in my profession. She asked me, what are you? I just given my card, and she said me that, oh, Nandita, you are social entrepreneur. Nobody writes this thing. You are a social entrepreneur. So it's my request that we all should become social entrepreneurs, because our stomach is full. We are not unhappy people. We are happy people. We want to see others also happy. That is the challenge of today's academicians' challenge, you know. So education as well as entrepreneurship as well as happiness index. So by all these things, we can give happiness to the people. Entrepreneur means happiness. He should not be in a bad condition like these majdoors. So entrepreneurship after lockdown, it's a very big thing, big challenge. They should get good raw materials, need identification. Then for all these things, you know, one thing I want to say that if really we want Atmanirbhar Bharat, for that, we always do that plan, do, check, act, PDCA cycle. And there should be one action plan with the time frame. Then only we can give some good results to India. Otherwise, we can't see our India in a better condition, because nowadays everybody is in a stress. So to remove those people from that stress condition after lockdown, yoga entrepreneurs also we need. If we know yoga, if we know some other systems, we should teach all those things to the entrepreneurs. Otherwise, they will be in stress. And the main role of academicians, one subject, that is psycho. If psychologists do some good mental exercises, brain exercises, and giving some new knowledge to the entrepreneurs, they will not suicide. So it is our role and duty. And I think it's just an introduction. I want to meet you people. I'm not an academician, but for discussions, we will discuss some other topics. If we want to ask anything, so we will discuss. I think it's time for discussions. Am I correct, Krishna? It's okay, Krishna?
Yes. Nandita ji, thank you for your, you have enlightened us on different aspects. Now, what we do is we have some vice chancellors and directors of the centrally funding institution. So we will take their inputs, their views. After that, the house will be open for others. So in this meantime, if you want to express your views, or if you want to ask any questions to the Nandita ji, then you please go to the participants, and there you can find the raise hand option, so you can press it. In this meantime, now I request Professor Ramana Rao ji, he is the director of NIT Warangal, to speak.
Good evening, Madam. I think you have rightly pointed out the role of entrepreneurship in the development of India, especially the Prime Minister's vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat and his vision of vocal for local, which I think is something very, very important for all of us. COVID-19 has given us an opportunity for many of us to realize that self-reliance is the best way to move forward. I'm happy to inform you that since we are a technological institute, we have created many, many entrepreneurs. And as you rightly pointed out, the entrepreneur is an individual who undertakes the risk associated with creating, organizing, and owning a business. So that is something which it has to be inbuilt in them. But what the government should definitely do is, or the organizations and supporting organizations, to show them the ways and means, allow them to use the facilities that is already available in these institutes for experimenting, for sharing their ideas, for carrying out pilot studies. In fact, I have seen entrepreneurs very young, they are coming from rural background. They do not have much education background, but they are quite persistent. They don't give up. They go on trying with the small ideas. They're very creative, some of the simple things, like the sanitizer dispenser. Very simple concept. They come with the idea, say, please fabricate here, and we help them fabricating, and then they market it. Then they are very responsible. They know what is right and what is wrong, and they are very inquisitive, asking questions. See, it's not just getting degrees that is important. What is important is these qualities, inbuilt qualities that entrepreneurs require. And also we notice that many of these people are very successful because they are goal-oriented. They have a focus on a development of a plan and achieving your goals. So we, from the institute side and the government side, should see that their plans are realized. And I'm happy that the Mudra project was very, very successful, and it has enabled many of the young entrepreneurs to come out with really good industries. Even in difficult times, they have been doing well. They're independent in nature, and they want to be able to work alone. They do things without much supervision because they have the determination. They are self-confident. I find them, they are self-confident. They have belief in themselves. They have belief in their ideas. And so therefore, what we did is, as them young, to create clubs and opportunities for them, create innovation hubs and incubation hubs, and train them in from the day one, so that their interest is reflected, their carry out models. We fund them with simple things. See, money sometimes is not an issue at all. These ideas that we are lacking, and these ideas are very, very useful. And this COVID-19 itself has given them many opportunities to students and young entrepreneurs who have come out with ideas, and we being comfortable, as you said, we are sitting in the comforts of our homes and institutes. We gave them an opportunity to create models, and obviously there is some risk. So our responsibility is to see that the risk is less, because finance is an issue. So, and of course, any successful entrepreneur always take a calculated risk, and so we should educate them and tell them it's a calculated risk. This is a good option, because we are educationists. We are well informed of the concepts and things how things work and how things do not work. So we should share our ideas. We have a great responsibility in seeing that the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister is realized, and all of us can easily do it, provided we make a consistent effort. And in fact, we always believe that these are the people who create jobs. Once they are successful, they're not job seekers; they are job creators. That's a common thing that we say for entrepreneurs. And I am very happy that you brought out nicely many things. But this particular COVID-19, the topic was entrepreneurship after COVID-19. COVID-19 has thrown many challenges, especially with the government's vision of Make in India. So we have now the necessity of creating more entrepreneurs, providing them all the supports. The recent packages introduced by the Honorable Finance Minister for MSMEs, as you rightly said, has really boosted the morale of these young entrepreneurs, and people have come out with trying to set up industries. But what is important is the deregulation. We have to make them, the regulatory part should be made as simple as possible, so that they're not demoralized. If I want to set up industries, I don't have to clear so many hurdles. So single ease of doing business. And I'm very happy that the government, especially the present government, has introduced many reforms. And of course, one important thing that is very noticeable in this government is the idea of consultation. Consulting. Nowhere earlier in so many situations we have seen the government consulting the common people, the intelligentsia. But this have been part of several of the meetings, and they're really taking ideas from individuals, sharing the ideas, and trying to participate. And that is how we have come out with very wonderful ideas. And I'm sure the vision of our Prime Minister will be realized. We can help these entrepreneurs. From our side, as a part of the educationists, we will support them with the lab facilities free of cost. Only thing they have to come to us. We'll give them. We'll attach students and faculty to them so that their ideas can be implemented. So pilot studies can be done free of cost. In fact, we have been successful. I'll tell you a simple idea. When you mentioned app, there was a weaving farmer who weaves the mats and all that. So he has almost weaved 1 lakh, and he was depending on government for sale. But he realized that the government, there are a lot of formalities involved. So he came to me. I said, okay, simple idea. I just WhatsApp with the photos and put it in the groups. We all got groups, and and you will not believe it. Within a week, he has sold 20,000 of those carpets. So they need a mechanism to market their products, and their products, they're very good. They create things, but some mechanisms, and that's where our computer science experts and other intelligentsia can create an environment for them to do better. And that is where our responsibility lies. Everything they can't do, we should give them some ideas, some input. And you rightly pointed out, you put a very nice background of the whole system. Definitely, we should make Atmanirbhar Bharat self-reliant India, and that is possible with all of us joining hands. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Madam, you want to give reply?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Thank you, sir, Ramna Rao, sir. Now I request Professor Ram Brahmamji. He is the Vice Chancellor of Central University of Orissa. Ram Brahmamji, are you there? I unmuted you. Please speak. Okay. Now I request Professor Sambasiva Rao ji. He is a Vice Chancellor of Mizoram Central University. Sambasiva Rao ji.
Namaste, Nandita ji. I'm also from Andhra Pradesh. I'm working in Mizoram University. It was a very beautiful message you gave us about the need of the hour for India and also the importance of entrepreneurship development in India. It was right, and Raman Rao ji also has given very good information how we have to work towards the development of the country. It is very important that India now, our Honorable Prime Minister Sir also was mentioning in one of his speech that India is emphasizing on the inviting the foreign investors to our country for development of industrial growth and also GDP development in India. So it is very important. Actually, before the lockdown, it was Government of India was planning for inviting the foreign investors to India, and also they are planning to develop the creativity and innovation, and also the investors to establish various industries. Just before lockdown, February 2020, they were really thinking about this. And meanwhile, the lockdown has come to in the middle, and it was actually stopped. And our Honorable Finance Minister was also very keen in developing entrepreneurship in India by relaxing several of the MSMEs and the range of MSMEs and profits, and even tax system also she has, and even the definition of MSMEs also she has changed it at the convenience of the people, and also during the lockdown. They are very much also they are also in trouble. Many industries are also in trouble. So she has given so many incentives for the industries to develop them. It is very important that the entrepreneurship has to be emphasized in such a way that not in the lines of developing some kind of technology orientation. That entrepreneurship should be developed in such a way that the socio-economic conditions of the people has to be kept in the mind. Why? Because no, we if everything we have in our mind, yeah, the COVID-19 is not there. It is a different situation. Now, after COVID-19, the migrant labor has got gone back to their villages, and even industries will not get the people, and industries cannot be operated immediately, and they cannot be restored immediately. A lot of problems are there. Industrial growth also will be coming into stalemate. So it is very important that the people has to think about developing self-entrepreneurship within the vicinity of the people. So that is, it should be production orientation. That the village development and the socio-economic village development and production within the small-scale industries and village rural development activities, if they start themselves, that will go in a long way and in a big way to the development of the country. So what we are going to think about, many people are thinking that we are going to give training for them in entrepreneurship in various skills in engineering and technology. That is not going to work out now immediately. The people has to develop themselves self-entrepreneurship at the place of residence, and they should develop, as you rightly mentioned, that the products has to be sold in different places, and also the communication system and product marketing system has to be established for the various products which are being developed in the villages. This is most important. This network, if it is developed, and the marketing system is being developed in the village system, that is going to be very helpful. So we have to help the people within the rural areas, how best we can help them to establish self-entrepreneurship. This is most important, madam. We are not supposed to think about the technology oriented or engineering oriented or advanced industrial oriented, biotechnology or pharmaceutical. All these are not going to help immediately after the post-COVID. We have to help in the point of view, because most of the people are living in the rural areas, and they are now jobless, and they need some kind of help. With the government has to come forward, and this rural machinery has to be strengthened, and they need to be shown how best they can develop something, and those things can be sold in the area where they are living. This is most important. If you can work out for the people and the rural machinery, rural development activities and self-entrepreneurship at the rural areas, and the socio-economic conditions improvement, these areas are going to be developed, the post-COVID-19 activities, as mentioned by our Honorable Prime Minister. It is going to be really wonderful, and I hope definitely India is not going to be back or none to any 1 second, and it is going to definitely come up very soon, and people are very intellectuals here, and they will be definitely working towards, and no one will be definitely frustrated, and everything will be set right within a few months, and within a few months or maximum within a period of 1 to 2 years, everything will be normal. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, and we will definitely share our feelings whenever we get some new ideas. We will definitely share in this direction. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Professor Srinivasa Kumar. He is the Vice Chancellor of JNTU Anantapuram. Srinivasa Kumar ji, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes.
Thank you, Venkata Krishna, for giving me the opportunity. Nandita madam, very happy to attend to the webinar, and I'm very happy to attend to all the other good speakers like Ramana Rao Garu and KRS Samsara Garu. In this occasion, I would like to tell you that 80% of the population is living in the rural area. As Professor KRS Samsara Garu says, entrepreneurship means it is not a big industries. We should address the people who are living in the agricultural villages. So here, I would like to quote certain examples also. Recently, we went to Coimbatore. We went to some industries, small industries, wherein the trunk of the banana tree has been used to produce the fiber, and that fiber has been used for the textile industry. And whatever the water that comes out of it, that water is being used to develop certain pharmaceutical products as well as to develop some floor cleaners and other things. And what are the pitch that which we are getting from that particular banana tree, and they are adding an alkylate to it, and they are making the products like POP, plaster of Paris, that kind of products they are developing. And if that kind of industries are developed in the rural area, then they will be used for the rural population. And today we need not think about the hi-fi industries. Even if we develop this kind of small industries, that can be useful for the agricultural labor. Today, 33,000 crores of food is getting wasted because of lack of food processing industries. And that is the one where it is to be addressed now. Because India is basically, it is developing based on the agricultural sector. And 80% of the population even today, they are living in the rural villages. And the daily income is only through agriculture. So if we develop industries that is relevant to the agriculture, such as the one which I have quoted one example, similarly, the turmeric leaves that they are used as a waste, instead of making it as a waste, we can develop some wealth out of it. We can generate some pharmaceutical products out of the turmeric leaves. This kind of products will be very much useful to the agricultural people and who are living in the rural areas. And I wish the industries that must be more connected to the agriculture is very useful to develop this country. And in particular, after the COVID-19, I wish the government sector should more concentrate in the MSMEs, and they should concentrate in this kind of industries which can help the daily labor or the agricultural people who are having the land as well as the income which is coming out of the land is very minimal, and they are not able to survive with that particular income. So if they develop an industry which is relevant to the products which they develop, if they are part of that particular industry, then they can get the income from the agriculture as well as from the industry. Their daily wage can be increased. So I wish that kind of industries which can be really useful to the agricultural sector, that should be started in the villages, and thereby the income as well as the socio-economic conditions of the people living in the rural villages can be developed. That is what I wish, and these are my words. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity.
True, it's true.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Professor JP. Yes, please go ahead, madam.
Yeah, just I want to share one thing. It's really, it's a need of this hour, you know,
Yeah.
small industries and rural industries.
Rural
because
industries, yes.
Rural industries, yeah, small scale industries, because these will not create any pollution. These will not
Yes,
create any disparity. This will not
Yes.
create any, unemployment also, because everybody is
Yes.
engaged in their works now. So it's true, sir. Yeah, it's a good.
One point I would like to discuss, madam. Here, the land bank is to be created, madam. People cannot survive with 2 acres or 3 acres or 4 acres agricultural land. Whatever the income which they get out of that land is not sufficient for them.
Yes.
So most of the people, like us, let us say, I am having some agricultural land. I cannot cultivate, I cannot give it to the others because of the legal problems. So what that kind of thing, we can create a land bank, and I will hand over my land to the land bank. And the land bank in turn gives the people, to the people who are interested in agriculture, they can make use of the land to produce certain things like sugar cane or banana or some coconut or something of that kind, and they can have their own industry which is technically, financially supported by the government. And what are the raw products that they are producing out of it, they can make use of it for the industries, and the outcome of the particular industry can be used for improving their livelihood. That is what I wish.
Yeah, just this is a good idea, sir. Land bank, it's okay. But in Chitrakoot also, sir, you know, the people, the farmers, they don't have a big land holdings. That's why we have developed 1.5-acre model and 2.5-acre model. Eight family members, they can survive very easily. Like that, we
Very
made
easy.
a plan, you know. So that is replicated by ICR also, Indian Council of Agricultural Research, which runs KV Kesna, sir, Krishi Vigyan Kendra. Through our Krishi Vigyan Kendra, we have developed this 1.5-acre model and 2.5-acre model, because the villagers, they don't want to keep their land with others, no, sir. They don't want to leave their land. They are having small land holdings. For that, we have developed, sir.
That should percolate to the small villages and other states also. It should not confine to one or two places. Because once you are showing that is a model, which is really a fortunate model that is improving the livelihood of that group of people, that model is to be developed in the rest of the villages.
Yes, sir. That's why ICR is replicating that model, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
It's sir.
Thank you.
So, thank you, sir. Now I request Professor J.P. Dubeji. He's a senior professor at Delhi University.
Yeah, namaskar. It has been wonderful to hear all of very senior people and led by Nandita ma'am. We also have been thinking on those lines, how to create such a mechanism in rural areas wherein something can be done which is very innovative. It may have had happened in our rural society for some 300, 400 years ago, but it has not been happening for the last 200 years at least. That is very for sure. So now, since things has not been happening in many of the rural areas, is it possible to link our educational institutions, schools, colleges, agricultural schools, agricultural colleges with specific areas, that this is the district and these are the blocks, these are the district, smaller units of the administrative units and villages, can maybe the land pooling and land development, these are the other areas. But what I'm saying at the concept level, if this begins to percolate, that there is a mechanism, there is an institution, and institution means there is a good number of students, good number of teachers, those who are into it, and they can be constantly advocating this idea that this can be done. And this maybe the village panchayat is also instrumental in it. And only then I think this can be the idea which we are perhaps thinking, that the manufacturing base shift to the local people. Such instruments can be very handy. And if the money is being given straightway to the states also need to pass on this money to the local units. Local units need to be strengthened. The strength of agriculture, the strength of the rural society, that way can be made use of it. And I don't know if there is any model in South Kerala and Andhra. There may be some models, but it is not happening all throughout. There are some cases I have also experienced throughout my small visits to some of the areas in Uttar Pradesh, Jhansi and other places, where the farmers have created some mechanism through which they were producing some agricultural outputs, specific tomatoes and other things. But other than the textile hubs, such ventures were not there. Even those who were doing it, like those who were making kullards and the clay pots, they are also losing the marketability competition. So if there is a possibility, the machinery can be strengthened, the state can take a very proactive role. States can be given a guideline that this is how we can strengthen our local institution. So a lot of migrations will be reduced. People will not be forced to migrate and not forced to reverse migrate. These things can be very, migration happens all throughout the world, but it happens at a very small level. There's a very few people move from one place to the other, the bulk of the people moving from one area to the other area and again reverse migrating, it's a threatening. So that way, I think the idea of having agripreneurs, social entrepreneurs, it can be, it's a good idea. I heard you all, and ma'am, it has been wonderful. Venkat, thank you all of you that you permitted me to at one thing I would like to share. An educational institution also, we did make some experiment. For the first time in Delhi University, one experiment was made. That is the only course that which I am currently managing. That is School of Journalism has been created without any state support. This is the only course in Delhi University which is being done, and 120 students each year are coming to us. Some 8,000, 9,000 students are vying for 120 seats. They are pooling in money. Teachers are being paid out of that. So this is happening. So people can do it. People are willing to participate in these activities, even at the lower level. Higher level, it has been always easy, but at lower level also, my communities can be mobilized. Thank you very much. I don't need to exceed my. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now it seems Professor Ram Brahmam ji has come back, the Vice Chancellor, Central University of Orissa. Ram Brahmam ji, are you there? So I unmuted you. You please speak.
Giladin Diskel.
No, he has not come back. So now I request Patnaik ji. He is head of the department in political science at the Mizoram Central University. Patnaik ji, Jagdish Patnaik ji, I unmuted you.
Yes. Thank you, Venkat ji. Namaste, Nandita madam. It was a very good presentation that you made on the entrepreneurship development in India in the context of the post-corona scenario. You have given very wonderful conceptual note. But in my opinion, there are a few points that I would like to highlight. Particularly, most of the talks that we hear generally in the context of the pan-India model. I work in Mizoram University, and it is a northeast, and this region is typical, and it's different from the all India, rest of India. What I mean to say here is, we have also in our university incubation centers, and we have got also some efforts for startups. And our Vice Chancellor, Sir Sambasiva Rao Garu, had also spoken about how because of this lockdown there is this reverse migration of the laborers resulted in a kind of disruption in the rural sector, the reason of which there is an urgent need to have socio-economic development in the rural areas. And also alongside that, we have also got this Government of India's initiative, particularly for the MSME sector. What I mean to say here is whatever the entrepreneurs or enterprises that need to evolve in the context of the post-corona scenario is that it has to be relevant to the rural sector, as our Vice Chancellor has rightly pointed out, that it has to be rural specific, region specific, and this Atmanirbhar Bharata that the Prime Minister has been talking about for a while. And this can be possible only when we, you have also pointed out very wonderfully that it has to be bottom-up approach rather than top-down approach. And what I mean to say here is, in the context of the Northeast, there is a need to develop specific model of entrepreneurship development, particularly in the context of this post-corona scenario, whereby the specific, as you said rightly, the raw materials, the natural resources that are available that need to be identified. Have experimented with the local resources and also have been successful in setting up a couple of incubation centers. But now that the post-corona scenario is different, as you said, social distancing has to be maintained, and there has to be all sorts of new protocols and so on. What I mean to say here is that the entire thinking needs to be reset, and we have to come up with not only a pan-Indian model, but models specific to the region, models specific to the particular locality, even particular village, because the typical villages have got typical kind of resources available. I'll give an example with in the context of Mizoram. There is a particular village called Thanjore. It's not a village, it's a town, they say. In that entire village, all the people are engaged in textile production. And there is no raw material available very much, but they are entrepreneurs in such a way that that particular area is engaged in only producing the local type of produce that they need to suit to the Mizo culture. So it is also equally relevant to give importance to the local culture. The local culture, the local resources, and local needs, all when combined together, particularly from the point of view of the post-corona thing, that kind of is, model is required for us to think. Of course, our university is there, and we can have these things, and we are also having entrepreneurship development courses, short-term courses whereby our entrepreneurs. But it is not taking off. It's not taking off. Reason is that still there is a need for motivation. Maybe because of this post-lockdown thing, it may happen that people will be motivated because the people are coming back. There is reverse migration, and there is some possibility of some change in the entrepreneurship development scenario in Northeast as well as in India. Thank you very much. Thank you, Venkat.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Professor Srinivas Rao Garu. Srinivas Rao Garu, I unmuted you. Please go ahead.
1 minute. Let me. Is it okay?
Yes, sir. We can hear you. You please go ahead.
Yes. Good evening to everyone. Dr. Nandita ji and my other colleagues, vice chancellor, directors, and other things. I am a professor at ICFA University, Hyderabad, and I am also heading Institutional Innovation Cell set up by Minister of HRD, MHRD, Government of India, and we are doing a lot of activity under that IIC, Institutional Innovation Cell, with our students. They are doing a lot of activities in startups and other things. Now, in New India after COVID-19, so few points I would like to speak. One thing is now individual safety and concern health issues are more important for everyone in this country. Okay. So acceleration in digital economy, as Madam has rightly mentioned, that will coming, there will be loyalty shock. Okay, now people may not go for brand. So I want only Samsung telephone. I want only, people will be more concerned about their health and safety issues, and they will be frugal in spending. Okay, they don't spend unnecessarily. Only they will spend wherever it is required. In terms of the people will be more concerned about health and safety issues. Okay, then there will be no unnecessary spending. That is one thing. So they will separate good cost and bad costs. Good cost meaning digitalization, digital marketing, and other things. They will spend more, and home entertainment, home fitness, and other things. They will not, the bad cost in the sense fancy offices. Then they will not spend much in the entrepreneurs, particularly small businesses. They will not spend much in the fancy offices. Then unnecessary spending in the traditional methods. So people will come out with new methods as far as digitalization is concerned. Then there will be, people, entrepreneurs particularly, they have to maintain good relationship with all stakeholders, whether it is suppliers, customers, society, environment, all people. Maintenance of good relations and human relations play very, very important role. Okay, that is going forward. And India and Indian businesses need to try to become the contract manufacturers, like what China is now. Okay, now see, people will be restricted to go to abroad, travel, international travels will be restricted, and whatever is being manufactured in outside the world and outside the country, so it will be manufactured in home. So as we have been, people have been discussing, including opportunity to serve the society, to to maintain manufacture in these villages and other places. Okay, so India will be getting a lot of contract jobs from other countries because the travel restrictions and other things will be restricted. So branding will no more be restricted. Okay. So people will go for concern. There will be more issues. So that is one point. Then pricing and of other offers. So that will also play very important role because people will not like to spend more as they used to spend earlier pre-COVID-19. Okay, so pricing strategies and pricing methods will play a very important role. Then that need to be discussed, and then accordingly strategies will be made by the entrepreneurs. So how best they can serve to the individuals and to the society. Okay. Then coming to the work from home concept. Okay, it's very good. In one of the surveys, it is highlighted that 30% going forward, 30% of the people will be working from home. Only others, so 30% of the people will be working from offices. All 70% will be working from the homes. Okay, that's what one of the surveys it is coming out from the vacancy. They are telling, when people are working from homes, parents can take care of their children, will be effective than what they are doing at home, at offices. Okay, that's what for the surveys results are coming out. Survey in one of the surveys it is found. One thing. And as per the McKinsey survey, 53% of the Indian entrepreneurs are optimistic after COVID-19, whereas 25% of the Japanese people are optimistic after COVID-19. Why? Because Japanese are more interested and they are more concerned about the teamwork. Now, this COVID-19, this will remove the restriction, remove the barriers of teamwork. Okay, so individuals cultures will play an important role after COVID-19. Okay, this is one thing. And CA, as far as psychology and human science, humanities and social sciences, as Madam has rightly mentioned, I am also from management and humanities background. This motivation will play very important role in every organization. So entrepreneurs and leaders have to take major role in motivating employees, how best they can take a contribution from the employees. So one example I am giving, CEO of Starbucks, he sat one day completing the Mumbai Fort branch, and for motivating the employees and giving inspiration to the employees how best they can deliver the goods. Okay, so that people will be effective. These are some of my thoughts. So thank you, Madam Dr. Nandita ji, and my other colleagues and my seniors, vice chancellors and directors. These are some of my thoughts I just wanted to share. Thanks to Dr. Santosh Shastri Garu, and thanks to Dr. Venkat Krishna Garu, all colleagues, all my colleagues and friends. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So thank you, sir.
Nice.
Madam, you want to give reply?
Yeah, just one thing. Sir just explained about individual safety. It's a very important thing. After Corona, safety is very important, sir. You just touched that point. And one more thing, it will come, I think that will be the major problem, because people always, now they put mask. Then internal security will be the great challenge for us, because we can't recognize the people. So they can do anything. Yeah. So very nice, sir. Nicely explained.
People will have best opportunity to serve to the society by way of education. Now we have been telling to our students. So you have to educate people. Okay, you have to educate to the society. Even our vice chancellors and directors, they are telling you educate to the people. So it is our basic, motivation, basic objective to educate people. Ask them to wear safety, maintain social distances. Okay, then education will become major role in this after COVID-19 as far as health and safety point is concerned.
Yeah, the education regarding that alertness.
Yes,
Everybody
regarding the
should be
alertness,
alert.
regarding the-
After this lockdown, everybody should be alert. Otherwise, it will be the problem. Thank you, sir. Very nice.
Oh, thank you, sir. Now I request Professor Murali, KVSG Murali Krishna ji. He is a senior professor.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Krishna ji, are you there? Yes, yes.
Yes.
Sir, please go
Thank
ahead.
you. Nandita Pathak ji, greetings.
Thank you, sir.
19th century was run by muscle power. 20th century was run by money power. But 21st century will be run by knowledge power. And knowledge, I am a professor of civil environmental engineering. Today there are about 3,500 engineering colleges in India. Very unfortunately, knowledge means immediately the first thing that comes to the minds of technocrats is mathematics. That is an unfortunate thing, that in engineering, advanced mathematics has replaced experiments completely. Experiments means what you are doing is experiments. And as a result, in engineering, we have 4 subjects of mathematics, and the students mostly fail in mathematics. And the student learns absolutely zero in laboratories during doing experiments. Especially, I'm talking about 70% of the colleges. I'm not talking about IITs and NITs. I'm talking about the bottom 2,000 engineering colleges. They learn absolute zero from experiments. Now, let us recollect that engineering is socio-economic development using available resources. So, engineering is mainly social entrepreneurship and social engineering. Social quotient, the social quotient is most important and critical for higher education in many developed countries, including Germany. And for example, as mentioned by you, Nandini Pathak ji, the key aspects of entrepreneurs are be updated or get outdated. The speaker, you rightly mentioned 2 very inspiring and thought-provoking points. I thought I will not get this opportunity to speak. That's why I have sent it in a message also. The first one is online marketing of homemade products you were talking about. It is very, very inspiring and thought-provoking. We have to think a lot on those lines. The second one is, Abdul Kalam said, "Aap badho, desh apne aap badhega." If every home becomes an entrepreneur, then the whole world automatically shines. The second point is you are talking about 1.5 acre model and 2.5 acre model, which are very, very beautiful concepts and truly inspiring. And we have to give, of course, this is first time I'm listening that, so I have to think about it. I will explore about it. But it is a very, very beautiful concept. We have to think about it a lot. It is very much useful for a sustainable India. That means if you think future 2 to 3 generations, that is another 100 years of India, if you think, these concepts are very, very essential. And these 1.5 acre, 2.5 acre, whatever you are doing, if you are using the waste materials and waste water, if you are using, and all these concepts of technology you are coupling with this rural India, then it will make wonders. And before ending, I only request that hope your center is organizing some workshops or something like that. Please give the email ID and website details of that, and we'll go through that. And we'll be very happy to participate, and we'll gain some hands-on experience in this social entrepreneurs. You have touched the brains of many people, and it will in turn touch the hearts of crores of Indians. Thank you very much, and I wish you a glorious future.
Thank you, sir. I will share with you personally. Now I request, we have one Vice Chancellor, S.K. Rauji. He's Agricultural University Vice Chancellor from Gwalior. S.K. Rauji, can you unmute yourself? Because I can't unmute you.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Mr. Madam, after seeing you after a long time.
Yeah, after a long time, sir.
Yeah.
Kaise?
Now, very good communication you have given us about the entrepreneurship and how we can make self-sustainable India for the future as per our Prime Minister's views. And if you look at this entrepreneurship as a whole in our country is not picking up to the extent it is required. As you know, our country is having the highest number of younger people that they have the risk-taking ability to go for entrepreneurship. Still, in spite of huge policies by the central and the state government and huge financial support, if you look at today, and if you look at today and 30 years back, there is a huge difference for the financial support for the entrepreneurs, from small ones to the bigger ones. Now the government of India is using a number of schemes, and the state governments is also having a large number of schemes to support the entrepreneurs. But the basic problem is coming with the younger generation, those who are educated from the academic institutions like agriculture universities and other elite universities of agriculture and even the engineering colleges. Their risk-taking capabilities is very minimal. That is why the large number of entrepreneurs are not able to come up in the stream. Almost all the institutions now, they are having the business incubation centers. In spite of the business incubation centers, that we could not able to see much progress in the entrepreneurship. Now, there is a lot of scope. The countries like India, which is having the agricultural base, where 80% of the people are depending upon the agriculture, living in the rural areas. The agricultural value chain development is the basic requirement in the agricultural sector that should go as a product, and there is a need to support the complete value chain development through the financing for the entrepreneurs. And for that, the incubators has to contribute a lot, identify the right people in the villages, because the rural area can only generate the income to this country, not the urban areas now. Even if for future requirement also, this rural entrepreneurship is the only solution to this country to transform India to see up to the expectations of our Honorable Prime Minister. And another important feature is that this rural entrepreneurship are non-competitive. There may be thousands of entrepreneurs who are processing the dal, who are processing the wheat, and who are processing the pulses and other things. It's non-competitive, in highly demanding, and everybody requires, they themselves requires, and they can feed others also. And ultimately, all the education institutions, because even nowhere in the world, the academic institutions, everybody is having the incubator system, but their contribution towards this entrepreneurship promotion, hand-holding, providing an idea, giving a technology, developing the laboratory models and the products and the services, and then designing a DPR and getting a finance, and then make them to run the business, including branding, and then market intelligence and other things. This is the complete chain that support, if that support can be provided, definitely our country can progress and come up with a huge number of entrepreneurs. I'm not going for conservative estimate. There is a huge potential I am talking about, but how to explore this possibility? Because most of our graduates are going for higher education. That is not required actually in this country. And this much higher, our quality of higher education is not so good. Even in the engineering colleges, leaving few engineering colleges and IITs, including IIMs, and even several agricultural universities. We require only 20-30% of the graduates should go for higher education. The rest, they have to go for entrepreneurship, because no government can provide an employment to the younger generation in any part of the world. Unemployment ratio is different from one country to another country. It may be highest the country like ours, and it is going to be increased. The rural entrepreneurship is the only solution to resolve those issues, and the lot of changes have been made in terms of the financial support, this entrepreneurship by the central governmental schemes. Now this is an opportunity. COVID-19 has given a very good opportunity for us to think about how to gear up our activities and control these migrated workers. How we can regulate it? Migration is there from every state, one state to another state. They are not the agricultural laborers, because they don't have any work to do. They got some expertise. They're working in some factory or the other. Some skills they have acquired it. And if they come back to their own villages, they cannot start those activities. But they need to be tuned, and some skills needs to be provided based on their interest, and then they have to be put for the entrepreneurship in their area itself. Then only they will not move. Otherwise, this will continue in country like ours. That is my perception. And these state governments and the education institutions have to play, especially Krishi Vigyan Kendras. We are thinking about this thing, how to handle these migrated laborers locally, how you can provide them the entrepreneurship promotion by developing the skills for them and then giving them opportunity along with the funds and other things. And one more thing is that the post-corona period, we have to provide the much better services to these migrated laborers. This is going to be a very big, huge task for the state and central government, for every one of us in the society. And how to manage this thing strategically, we should plan it, and then we should, if we can able to retain them in their local areas by providing the ideas and financial support and some sort of entrepreneurship. It may be group or individual basis. That is going to be a big thing and contribute to the economy to our country. Otherwise, it is a recurring investment to shift from here and there and all these things. These are some of the issues. I tell you, this country can transform only through the entrepreneurship for future, the small entrepreneurs, not with the big industries. Thank you very much, madam, for giving me an opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I wanted to open house for the students. Before that, I would like to request Professor K. Pradeep Kumarji. Sir, you please unmute yourself.
Okay.
Thank you, sir, giving me this opportunity. I'm Pradeep Kumar, a retired lecturer.
Sir, please.
My basic subject was public administration.
Yes, yes, sir.
Well, I got an idea of using the public schools and infrastructure colleges, for example, a junior college, a degree college, or even primary school too, that can be used for more hours than what we are using today. As far as I know, an average school is run for. Are you able to hear me, sir?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. Please go ahead. Please finish.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. On an average, every school is being used for 8 hours a day and 220 days for a year. It can be increased. What I'm trying to convince you that, for example, if it can be used for 20 hours or 18 hours or 15 hours, the value of that particular infrastructure will be increased. For example, what happens, one batch will come and it will learn something there and they go off. And second batch will come, they will learn something and they go off. After all, what there will be benches, chairs, and blackboard. They cannot be destroyable. They can be preserved at any time. I mean, they cannot be destroyable all the time. What I'm trying to tell you that this type of situation will create what I am trying to tell you, that, for example, a coaching master is there who can coach for IAS or IPS. He cannot establish his own environment for that. He can use this infrastructure. That is my idea, basic idea. And next time, if you give me an opportunity, I'll come with full details. This is the first time I'm participating in this thing. Thank you for giving this opportunity.
Yes, sir. We will reach you personally. You please share your contact number and mail ID in chat box, sir. We will reach you, but I will reach you personally for the next.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So now I wanted to invite some students also. We wanted to listen some student opinions. Now I request Santosh Shastri Karra. You please unmute yourself. Santosh Shastri.
Yeah, thank you very much, Venkatji. Is it audible?
Yes, yes. You please go ahead.
Yeah, Namaskar, Madam Ji. Namaskar, Namaskar. Madam, you have given very good insight how to go for the entrepreneurship and everything. And I'm happy to say that after completion of my master's from an IIT, I started up my own startup on the name of Kutrim Mega Solutions on artificial intelligence. Basically, I'm from Konaseema, which everywhere the farmers are very much more. My first project I have chosen to help for the farmers, where by using artificial intelligence, we are developing a new app by just put up your camera with your what we call mobile camera to a leaf or something to plant. It will itself identify what disease, what's lack of disease, or what's nutritive deficiency it has. All the time, farmers may not be much all the times expert opinion may not be available, as some Professor S.K. Rao or someone else from Agriculture University has told this. So this is the first thing what I would like to say, and would like to go ahead with further things which can be helpful for the farmers. This is the thing I would like to share it with you. Thank you very much.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Very good. Very good. Congrats.
Thank you, Santosh Shastri. Now I request Dr. Manish Kumar. He's a postdoc fellow at IIT Bombay. Manish Kumar, do you please go ahead. You finish in a minute because still we have many people has to speak. Manish ji, you unmute yourself. Okay. So we will come back to you. Now I request Shashank. Shashank Shekhar, are you there? Okay. So we will get back to you. Now I request Deviki Devi. Deviki Devi, you please unmute yourself.
Sir, good afternoon. Good evening, sir. Good evening, madam. Nandita.
Good evening.
Nandita. It's a very wonderful opportunity to me to talk before you, and I feel very happy for that. Whatever SK Rao sir said the points, that same points I have in my mind, and apart from them, I have some ideas in me. Such that, every student in the colleges and educational institutes are given the opportunity to get the knowledge about the local products, whatever the village entrepreneurs are doing. If it is able to connect with those village people, it will be very easy to lift those entrepreneurs, whatever we have in and around the villages over here. So a connection with the students will help a lot in the rural area, and which also enlightens the word which has been said by our Prime Minister Modi ji, vocal about local. This will lift the entrepreneurship to a very vast range, and we can use our own products through this particular entrepreneurship ideas. And if the women in the villages are enlightened very much, enlightened about the products or about the technologies, whatever are available, with the small ideas, we can even see the great change in the entrepreneurship area. So this is a point which has been enlightened in me, madam, and very happy to be a part of this particular meeting in which very revered persons are there. Thank you, madam. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam. We wanted to listen some more women voices. So there are many ladies participants. You can raise the hand if you want to express your views. In this meantime, I request Vinay Kumar Chaturvedi. You please unmute yourself and please speak. Vinay Kumar Chaturvedi.
Yes. Namaskar to all of you. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Please finish in
am
a minute.
Okay. Okay, so I am a political science student from Banaras Hindu University. Through Nandita ma'am, I got to know about Nanaji Deshmukh a lot, and I am privileged that he was MP from my constituency, Balrampur, it is in UP. So I was just going through the entrepreneurship, and before today, I was knowing that entrepreneurship is only related to economic or technical fields. But today, I have got to know that it's all about society and no. I have some.
Light nahi hai.
There is. Thank you. Yeah, there is some. Hello.
Yes, yes, yes. Please go ahead.
Yes, so I was saying that I have some questions regarding this. That as we are saying that a remigration has happened throughout this COVID period, and it's not a Harry Potter's magic trick that everything is going to be fine after 31st May or after in 2 or 3 months. So there will be a demigration or remigration, we can name it anything. So how can entrepreneurship can help there? My question is there in security or in anything. The second question is mine, that if we are talking of bottom up entrepreneurship in local areas, if we say there is a lacuna of accountability in the local political system or local social system, how can we boost that thing? And the third question is that, ma'am, I am from a kasbah which population is nearly about 50,000 to 1 lakh. I say there is no booster for social entrepreneurship or any type of entrepreneurship. So how the government or how the social NGOs or anything, or how can they help? They're gonna help these entrepreneurs to be the part of making India a better place. These are the questions. Thank you.
So for all these things, can I answer, please?
Yes, Krishna. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just for this, only one thing: people's initiativeness and performance. It only makes our India self-reliant. If people are not taking any initiative and they are not performing their duties and accountabilities, we can't be self-reliant. This is the first thing. That's why the social entrepreneur's responsibility is becoming more and more. Accountability and responsibility. People's side as well as from other, that Neta Nagari, yeah, leaders, yeah, whoever it may be, For that, what we have done, you just mentioned Balrampur. Nanaji elected as a member of parliamentarian from Balrampur. And by that time he was getting a ministry. But Nanaji said that, I am becoming 60 years old, so I don't want to stay in politics. He left politics and he started societal life, He established Deen Dayal Research Institute and he first started his work from Gonda. And Gonda is in Uttar Pradesh. Just I am giving one example. Without any people's participation, involvement and initiation is most important. For that, Nanaji became an entrepreneur that time. He was not a politician. And one lady, Rani, he defeated one Rani. And he went to that lady. He asked for some jameen, some land. He acquired some land. He established Jaiprabha Gram in Gonda district. So for that, first of all, he established Udyamita. It is Entrepreneurship Development Unit. These all are why I am saying, if we want to do something, start from our side, not from others. Don't see others. If you are interested, you know Nanaji Deshmukh ji very well. So you can start your enterprises at your end. So the people will come and they will help you. Like that, only one thing. For this, Sarkar, Kendra, central government and state governments, they just motivate us. They will give some funds. They will not give any such guidelines for this social entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship. They will give some funds. With that funds, we have to develop our self-enterprises. For that, one novel experiment we have done in Chitrakoot project. When Nanaji was there, that time he selected graduate couples, husband and wife. If you are married, you and your wife both can start one new experiment in your area. Start from yours, like APJ Kalam Saab said that. Start from our side. Na? So, if you start, hundreds of people will come and they'll encourage you and they will give some funds. So, don't expect anything from others because we are entrepreneurs. We are not coolies. We are not laborers. That's why start from your side. So, Nanaji started social architect couples and they are doing good job, good work with their responsibility and accountabilities. They are performing all these duties. Okay? Yeah.
So, thank you,
because
madam.
Time is not sufficient. Please continue, Venkat.
So now I wanted to take a last call from the Shashank Shekhar. Are you there?
Yes, please.
Please finish it in a minute or 30 seconds.
Okay, I will try my best and I just take a minute for you. And namaste to all respected academicians and Nanta ma'am. And I am thankful to Venkatesh ji for giving this opportunity. I just want to share my views that for Atmanirbhar Bharat, we just need Atmanirbhar Yuva, that is youth, for which we have to change the mindset of our society for getting job to being independent in economic manner. And in after COVID-19 situations, we need to change the definition of development. We don't need only GDP type of economic growth. We need only human centered economy, and we should focus on cooperative India instead of corporate India. And I have not so much experience, but I just seen that from 1950 to 1990, the idea of socialism failed in India because our government can't bear so much burden. And now in 2020, after COVID-19 pandemic, we saw that the idea of LPG and corporate sector have failed in India. We need human-centered development, so that we need social entrepreneurship, that youth from NITs and IITs come to village, and we for which we focused on the towns of the population from 15,000 to 1,50,000, so that the people from the villages come to the market for employment and various purposes and near the villages, and in the evening they also easily back to their home in the evening. For uh, for resist the migration, we just need house, food, education, medical facilities, and some basic employment in their own town. So we will uh, after that we will, if we do the cost and benefit analysis by providing them in their nearest town, we the system of social entrepreneurship, and with the help of the government, this system favors us. So just in the one thing I want to mention, that after this pandemic, the system, corporate system or medical system that America have, that is when we should be precautionary, not that when the our migrant worker who do work in the Delhi NCR and other cities have the problem of heart diseases and other type of diseases due to the pollution etc, and this create a huge burden on the government to move on the actions in and the hospitals, IMs like that. So we should create pollute free, we can provide them pollution free environment in their own villages, to less the burden on the government. For just we need education system in our primary education, primary schools. So we need training for each chapters in the schools, and in that same primary schools we can move the training for farmers and the youth for skill development. So we just need focus on village economy. And just last for 10 seconds, I just want to mention some thing, that we if we see the village per capita income and the urban per capita income, there is a huge difference, vast difference. There I just don't know the clearly, but that is I attend last seminar. There it was mentioned that 27,000 near about per capita income in rural areas, and 20 lakh and 50,000 near about per capita in urban areas. And in also the urban areas there is a no proper distribution of the wealth. So we just want to focus, we should democratic in the economic manner, for which we should, the government and we the youth should focus on the villages, the towns where the economic activity can be run. And that is all my point I can make in that time. And
Thank you.
Thanks for giving me this opportunity.
Shashank. Now I wanted to, call a panel because since one girl has shown interest, her name is Vaishnavi Korlakunta. Vaishnavi, you please finish it in 30 seconds.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Ma'am, the insights all the speakers previously has shared on social entrepreneurship are really thought-provoking. And as a student, as a graduating student, I can surely say that every student has several ideas. In some point of time, they get many ideas regarding entrepreneurship. What if we turn this idea into entrepreneurship? But as there are several academicians here, it is we should rethink how effective our incubation hubs in our colleges and universities are. Are they really changing students into entrepreneurs or not? And as students from normal backgrounds generally have so many constraints and fears to become entrepreneurs, be it their social conditions, their family backgrounds, and those students who come from a non-entrepreneurship background, they have many fears. And we should definitely we should rethink whether our education system is enabling us to overcome those fears. And also, I think it would be a very good thing if we have some non-credit courses regarding entrepreneurship, like imports and export business and all. So thank you. And ma'am, I'm also from the same area which you are born. I just came to
Wow.
know that you are from Vinukonda, and I'm also from
Vinukonda. But basically, my village is Petlur. I born in Vinukonda. Yeah, but okay, yeah. Yeah, just I want to tell you one thing. If you are having any innovative idea, na, just join an NGO, one NGO, for internship. So you can enjoy that place and you can show your energy level and everything. So you just join one NGO, okay? Because in academic institutes, they focus on education. That's why you don't get that much of time, okay? Please join one NGO. Okay, Vaishnavi, good luck.
Thank you, Vaishnavi. I will try to connect you to with Nandita ji. In the last call, I request Nandita ji to give concluding remarks in 5 minutes.
By me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Well done, Venkat Krishna Garu. It's such an encouraging discussions, and I pay my namaskارams to all respected vice chancellors, professors, and all the students. Good luck to the students. Don't worry about this corona. Corona will be with us only. It is not going anywhere. So we have to learn how to live with that corona. So don't worry about that. Don't take any tension. Don't take any stress. Just live happily. And sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kashit dukkha bhag bhave. We should not get any disease. We will be happy. Just think positive. Come together, sit together, think together, plan together, work together, assess together, and enjoy together. Only this is the message. Enjoy, everybody. Don't worry about any other things. Please take care of yourselves. Thank you, Venkat Krishna ji.
Thank you, Nandita ji. Now I request Professor Nagamani ji to give vote of thanks for the entire session. Nagamani ji, please go ahead.
Very good evening to all of you. I'm audible?
Yes, yes, madam. You are audible. Please go ahead.
Yeah. I'm very happy to thank this occasion, especially this is a very interesting, encouraging, and encouraging the entrepreneurs, students, and also academicians with the wonderful speech of a speaker we found, Madam Nandita Garu, on the occasion of the entrepreneurship in New India after COVID session that is organized by the Mr. Venkat Krishna and his team for this thing. So I'm very honored and lucky to have the opportunity to give a vote of thanks in this occasion. So I thank all the speakers, especially the honorable vice chancellors, deans, directors of NIT, Mizoram Central University. Unfortunately, we could not hear from the vice chancellor of the Odisha University, okay, and Delhi University. So who has given clear examples with the models of the wonderful speech given by Madam Nandita, who is a real experimental, successful women at the earliest age, who are really following the motivation words of the our nation, the nation who has won the Bharat Ratna award kind of thing. Madam, you have given a real motivation to all the members who have participated, from the vice chancellor to the end user of the students and the farmers, and really entrepreneurs, who are most of the people also joined it as entrepreneur. Then they have really got a very good information from all the vice chancellors who have spoken about their models, what they are building. A model came out as a product is not in one day product. They have worked with their experience, years together of experience, and your experience. It's a completely, this session is really experience sharing with the real models, which is making the our India. So what is our Modi motivation is the vocal for local thing, and Swasth Abhiyan, the Swachh Bharat kind of thing. So, and also a solution for the COVID. You made finally us to make happy during this period of pandemic period. And I really thank the Madam Meena Madam, who is a psychologist and who also is doing social work kind of thing, doing after her academic sessions kind of thing, encourage the counseling the people on online kind of thing. She is a practical experiment doing on this thing. She recently has given the this 8 languages. They are communicating 8 Indian languages, the counseling to the all this pandemic period psychology problem people kind of thing. So we got an opportunity get from women community. Really, I'm sorry to say that. So women entrepreneur, women psychologist, and women academicians and entrepreneurs also is there. The support women means including men. So that's why I said that women include the men. There is no gender discrimination. We men. So we all one nation, one word, and one motivation, one direction with these things. And this opportunity is given by the really the coordinator, the Venkat Krishna. And I would like to say that all the students who are really experimenting all the professors' words and other things, as they are following, you followed your guide kind of thing. These are the very good session. All we academicians felt happy that the students also we got this kind of Madam Nandita Madam student kind of thing. And I spoke I could not mention all the names of the students, starting from the Santosh to last Vaishnavi, who is from Madam's native place kind of thing. So I thank all the, especially I would like to say Krishna sir. So Murali Krishna, I could not say. So he has given a very good word that the Hatu, the Mana and Medho, on 2 points, Medho and Manas, we are thanked. We thank, and you touched all the Indian Medho Manas. So that is the thing. This is the successful meeting as per during this pandemic period, which I all attended meetings kind of thing. I thank all the people patiently listening, all the people, the models, and communicating their problems and their solutions to the madam, to all the people, and everyone is raising their solutions. Here it is not a problem they are raising. They are giving a solutions, prototype models to the nation, and they showed that it's possible make in India in near future kind of thing. I thank all the organizers and the patiently all the participants to giving this opportunity to thank all the people. I thank all offline Facebook listeners also to make this event successful in this very good occasion day, that is the Ramadan. Happy Ramadan to all. And thank you very much, madam, to accepting and patiently listening and helping us to cope up with some of the hurdles to reach the entrepreneurship level. So you are young and energetic and encouraging all of us. Thank you. We also feel young and energetic with your words. And I thank Venkata Krishna and his team to making this all the people to available. Thank you very much, Venkata Krishna ji. Thank you, namaste. Namaste to all the vice chancellors and professors and academician entrepreneurs, sir. Namaste, sir. Thank you.
Many senior professors are there from NITs and some other central universities. We couldn't call him, and some medico students also there. So we did not call them because of time constraint. But we will have another session with Nandita Pathak ji at the time. Hope others also will get the chance. Sorry for the inconvenience. Thank you, Nandita ji, for joining me.
Thank you, Venkat ji.